And what's going on, everybody? We are live. This is Fun Speculation Podcast, episode 138. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all had a good weekend, and I hope you're all having a good start to your week. Yeah, it's Monday, April the 14th. We're here kind of in the middle of springtime. Lots of games to play, lots of gaming news starting to happen, things starting to get revealed, kind of lots of rumors and speculations starting to swirl. Last week we had showcases get announced. And yeah, it's kind of the gaming news is starting to pick up a little bit, but I was looking forward to having the show today. And yeah, we weren't able to have a show last Monday, so apologize about that. But yeah, we are here and ready to roll. Thanks to Fuzzy for being here today, sir. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here with you guys. Yeah, it's been pretty interesting as far as gaming news is concerned. Can't wait until June for the showcase, but some games in between. Got some. I guess there were some announcements for was it Alters and a few other games for June, and
Mm-hmm.
we got what was it? Clair Obscur 33 later on this month. Plus we got Towerborn. I think the early access starts up next week or something like that, or sometime this week. So looking forward to that. But yeah, got a lot to talk about. We got Jasper here as well. Yeah, we're gonna have a fun time.
Yeah, man. Thanks. 3-Bit's hanging out with family tonight, so he won't be here. But that's cool. We do have Jasper here joining us this week. And how are you doing?
Uh, Doing pretty good, I guess. Just been chilling. Just playing South of Midnight. I guess I'm on chapter 6 now with that, so been up to that. Marvel Rivals Season 2 dropped, so I played that a little bit of that. That's about it.
I've noticed since you have a life, you're not just kidding.
Finishing games.
Yeah, you're not finishing games as fast as you used to. Because
Yeah.
I know South of Midnight a few months back or whatever before, or not a few, but I guess like last year or whatever. If I were to say
it would have been done in a day.
yeah, you would have been. Yeah, I finished it in like 4 hours. And like, what do you mean? Everybody says it's a 12-hour game. Yeah, it took me 4 hours. But now it's like I'm on chapter 6, and this is it's been out for a while.
It's
now.
like a normal gamer now, where it's like, oh, you have 30 minutes of your life to actually play something. So
yeah, exactly.
I guess I'll just won't play a game, or I'll hop in something else.
Yeah, and then eventually, what's going to happen as you get older, you're going to start turning into a grazer.
Yeah,
like me and Pong, and you're like, oh, I get it now. These weirdos, I understand why they were doing this their whole life or whatever. But yeah, it's funny, man. But yeah, you're still digging it. You're still liking it. We talked a little bit on Xbox Ultimate.
Yeah, I feel like the story's getting better the farther it goes along. Still, the combat, I still find it kind of like boring and repetitive. Like, I feel like the platform and the combat kind of slows the pacing of the game down. I don't know. Just
yeah, that's kind of general consensus on the
Yeah.
reviews or whatever. It's mainly like been praised for all the story stuff and the music and environment and all that, and then people are saying, well, they could have done more with the gameplay, and but overall, I did get through like the first like boss thing,
Yeah.
The platform in that was pretty fun with the music, kicking in.
Yeah.
Kind of gets you in that rhythm and amped up. I really loving the music though. It's just freaking awesome. But how about you, Fuzz? Have you beat South of Midnight yet, or are you still slow?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I rolled the credits on it. I think it was either last night or the night before. I definitely did it this weekend, but yeah, enjoyed it. It didn't disappoint with I thought there was going to be like this tearjerker ending. I mean, to some extent there is still a little bit of that as well, without spoiling anything, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be for the ending. So I'm glad on that, because I there was something that happened in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, please don't let it be this type of ending, and thankfully it's not. But it's I like the story. Like even though some of the themes are probably a little more adult than probably maybe some of the people that may try and play this, like if they have their kids play it type of thing. But yeah, it's a good game. The platforming, it could be improved, but like I look at it like in comparison to like Psychonauts and stuff like that. So it's still within reason. The combat,
I just feel like to like clarify, like on Kyler's point or whatever he was calling me out for, like I feel like the platform, there's just some like unnecessary sections that are like, let's just jump across these like 20 fucking little land masses. Instead, we could just walk there. Like, I don't know. It's just like, why? It's just like a major break in like two little sections of the land. It's like, this doesn't need to exist.
Yeah. No, but like for the combat, I had fun trying. Like I don't know if you guys have gotten to Crouton yet, but Crouton can help
Yeah.
out, and sometimes although my aim isn't always the greatest, I usually wind up. I try to go for the biggest enemy first to have Crouton and take over that one. But sometimes I miss, and it's like the easier ones that 2 or 3 hits and they're usually down or something like that. But other than that, combat's fun. Platforming, the edge slippery stuff is I've gotten used to it, so I don't get as close to the edges. But the one thing I sometimes wind up screwing up on are the wall runs when there's obstacles on the wall run. So I wind up moving the wrong stick sometimes, and I probably should have did the inverted fly, and you can fly and stuff like that. But yeah, I really liked it. I hope there's a part 2 at some point because I would like to see what those powers and the combat could be expanded upon. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I imagine like I think thinking about what they could do if they go for a sequel to this, like to expand upon like the powers and everything. I could imagine they could just keep going and making it even
See, I feel like
better.
I think the major problem with the combat is every time you get in combat, it's just like a zone and you have to clear out the pot or whatever, and then it like empties the zone. Whereas like if the monsters were like more freely spaced out through the world, it wouldn't be as like a drag of like, oh, I'm going to get in combat so I can clear out this one thing, kill these 4 enemies, and then kill the hive. It's like you just do that over and over again, so it's kind of boring. So if they just spaced out enemies more freely without having to clear out a hive every time, I think it would have been better. I don't know.
Yeah, I the
That
explorations,
alligators bite you or something.
right?
Like
Yeah.
if they had some of the wildlife be a problem for you. That would definitely add to the difficulty on that.
I think like overall, they achieved a lot of great things with South of Midnight, So,
Yeah.
and it's like I could see where it could go in the future to create even like a better game. It like Jasper's saying, I agree with that. I don't necessarily like in certain games where you get into like, okay, this is obviously a combat section. Do that. Move on from there. Okay, platform time. Okay, move on from there. Combat time. Okay, explore time. Where it's just like distinct, where it less natural kind of. But like, I mean that it's part of the game, obviously, and they did
Yeah.
I think each one of those pretty well. But like the way it's like kind of feels like segmented in a way, like purposefully, kind of takes away a little bit from the exploration stuff. Whereas if it was more like one cohesive like world where you could kind of go, I'm not saying that I can necessarily have to make it open world, but like it was more like, hey, this is a giant level, and you can kind of go and do what you want,
Yeah.
have the combat sequences, and there's still the exploration and still those other things. I think it would make could be better for this world, but that also could have a detriment to the storytelling because the
Yeah.
benefit of them doing it this way guides you through that story very well. So it's kind of like hard to find that balance with games sometimes about how do we give you more freedom and make it feel more organic, but also keep you in this with this momentum of the story because that's what it does the best for me is I feel like yeah, there are those like sections, but like none of them are like very long, so it's like, hey, this little fun jumping part or whatever, like get this new ability or whatever, and you do this, and then oh, awesome story stuff. Yeah, I can't ever. I always want to get, even though the story's always kind of going with the dialogue
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like I can't wait to get to that next like bigger moment with the story, right? So, it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to see how they can evolve it, but I can imagine that could change with powers and stuff over time with different games and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you could have like north of noon, west of dawn. I don't know.
North of
Yeah.
Noon, the sequel to South of Midnight. Yeah. Love it, man. North of Daybreak.
Yeah,
Um,
that would
yeah,
be
man.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I want to like whatever they do. I want them to keep their like the world that they're in, like the South, with like the folklore that they have and stuff. Like it's just they did such a good job with that, and it's so unique to anything else that's out there that I think people will remember this game that played it. Like people always remember playing it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just forgettable kind of thing that we've seen time and time again, right? So that's what
Yeah.
it's all about. Um, See lots of awesome names in the chat. Shout out to the Sly Crow. Shout out to Be Nice Mac 22TH54. What's up? We got Thatch here hanging out. Fuzzy Tomato is here. Nissa Hauer, how's it going, Nissa? Calorie, what's up, Calorie? And let's see, Lydian Master here hanging out. The one and only Double Barrel Gaming, aka Mr. Boomstick. Boom, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing well. Game Shark, how's it going? Splendiferous, what up? What up? Why so serious is here. E Ranks, how you doing? E Ranks, hope you're well. Brett Bingham is also in the chat, and he was first to say howdy. I'm guessing he said howdy because he had the cowboy hat on. So howdy to you, sir. But yeah, I've been enjoying my time with it. Yeah, we got some. We did have a cool announcement today, guys, with Star Wars. Now we've already seen like a leak kind of this game already, a little snippet of teased gameplay. But yeah, we got a new announcement for a Star Wars game today via EA. Now this is the Respawn tactics game that had been rumored for a very long time, and we actually have official word on it. And let's see, it is called Star Wars Zero Company. So I'm looking forward to more on it. They didn't give us a lot today, but there will be a Star Wars celebration on April the 19th. And
Yeah.
if you are a tactics or RTS or strategy game lover, if you like Star Wars, then you might want to tune in on April 19th to that Star Wars event. But they did say it is coming to console. So a tactics game, obviously from EA, I kind of figured that. But yeah, it's coming to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. And they gave a little cool bit of artwork there as well. I mean, you can't read too much into it. You see a droid, you see different, you see like a stormtrooper, Jedi, looks like a bounty hunter type guy or, something like that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what that game actually looks like and plays like when we get it revealed. But could be something special this year, man. Like this year just keeps getting better and better with game releases. I would say 2026, besides GTA 6, 2026 will be the year of bigger releases, right? But this year has a lot of really cool shit. But anybody here else excited for the Star Wars game? Jasper, if this was Star
Yeah.
Trek, you'd be jumping for joy.
No, I mean I like Star Wars too, especially like if you look a little farther into the image, it appears to be kind of set more in like the Clone Wars era. So that's like my favorite era of Star Wars anyway. Like so that definitely adds excitement to it because you have a clone, you have like a Jedi dude, and then like the bounty hunter in the middle, he's holding up like a hologram thing of like a battle droid. So seems to be set kind of more Clone Wars era, which that makes me even more excited for the game.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a also a see I see it in the image. There's a bounty hunter, there's a Jedi. There is that a clone? There's a guy that has like a helmet thing on or something.
Yeah, it looks like the underwater helmet stuff that they would wear, and but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
And then there's a smuggler. I think the smuggler
yeah,
bounty hunter. Yeah, I mean they try a stormtrooper, Jedi, and then what
like a Mandalorian looking dude.
whatever this other one is
Yeah,
too. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, man. But it's like they're really. I mean, Star Wars it hasn't been utilized as much enough in gaming as it could be with a variety of stuff, and that's something I'm excited to see what they could do because with all the classes and everything. Something like this is gonna be up your alley, Fuzz.
I'll definitely give it a try. The RTS aspect, it's interesting, but I don't know. Like for Star Wars, I've yet to finish like Outlaws, so I still want to go back to kind of like this third person perspective deal. But from like a standpoint of an RTS, if you're going to be
Well, I think
dealing
this is
with
gonna be more
droids and
like
This
clones,
is going to be
this is gonna be more
tactics.
like Gears Tactics
okay,
or XCOM
Yeah,
style. Yeah.
oh okay.
tactics game.
Hmm. Actually,
So
that'll be more up my alley then. I think at that point, just because I like the almost like that not really fog of war, but where you don't really necessarily see all of the enemies until you have like a line of sight, and depending on if they have a better line of sight kind of thing. But I'll definitely give it a try. Like it's Star Wars is up there. I'm kind of like more like Jasper. I lean more towards Star Trek, but there aren't as many games that I've seen that have interested me.
Yeah.
But like for the overall, I think this is one where I may not be there day one, but definitely wind up picking it up before it goes to EA Plus kind of deal. At least that much. I wind up probably picking it up when they do like the first round of sales or something like that. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty cool setup if it's more like a Gears tactic type of thing at that point, or XCOM.
yeah, it's definitely that. I mean, they on the little leak gameplay they had, like it even had like the Overwatch mechanic, which is
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
a typical XCOM slash tactic. Any of those typical tactics games kind of have that mechanic. Where we have Overwatch and stuff. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they do. Like something that makes like XCOM special is like your characters can die. That you've invested a lot of time into, and you've like have this amazing built up character, and if you put them in the wrong situation, like they can have permadeath, and then you end up having to have a whole new recruit sometimes to replace them, and it's like this balance of like gambling with your characters in a way that adds kind of depth to some of
Mhm.
these games. So I'm wondering if they're gonna go that route, or if they're gonna kind of be more like tame with it. I think Midnight Suns was interesting because it was a character based one, right? And it was
Mhm.
a RPG, but it was tactics and but without the grid, you know.
And
And
that would also like if you died, like you just what they have to like rest or whatever, right?
yeah,
Was it? I can't remember.
yeah, they
Yeah.
like injured basically. So
Yeah.
you do lose them, but it's only for like a time period, and
Two
there's
matches or
ways to
something. Yeah.
speed that up, right? And with like games like the XCOM stuff and things like that, yeah, you can they can get injured also, and they have to rest and stuff. But they're not going to kill Wolverine. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They're like, oh no, Wolverine died. So that's kind of why I think they didn't go that route in that game. But yeah, it's still again, hey, if y'all haven't played Midnight Suns, it goes on sale ridiculously cheap all the time, and it is one of the best tactics games out there, and it's also a great RPG, and it also has a great story. So for anybody that has just kind of you know, overlooked it because it had a card system and all these other kind of things. Like if you're a Marvel fan too, just the stories and stuff and the dialogue and conversations and everything that in that game, like the RPG side of it, is super worth it. So, um, I know COG has always been trying to sing its praises on Iron Lords, and I have been too. Pong has been too. But yeah, just Midnight Suns. Next time it's on sale for $5 or whatever, yeah, go and grab it because it's a one of those games that didn't do as well as it should have. Maybe because of the original reaction to the card based system and the kind of tactics game at the time. Marvel, like I think it just kind of was weird timing with how it released and stuff.
Yeah, I think the card system kind of turned a lot of people off with it because like people weren't like they wanted a tactics game and then they saw like card battler and shit and it kind of was like what the fuck kind of game is this? But
Yeah. Terror Bear says, "Would you recommend Midnight Suns if you weren't into Marvel?" Absolutely. It's just a really good game. Like if you like RPGs that have good dialogue too, like the way that the game is set up is you have, and I'm talking about a game that's years old now, but the way the game is set up is it's set up at the base and headquarters of just this mansion of the Midnight Suns, right? And so you can explore the mansion. You can explore the
In a
grounds
third
of the
person
mansion.
kind of
Yeah.
free roam
Third person, you
like
go
thing.
around, you can have conversations with the other characters and all that, and by doing so, you can actually gain things that end up helping you when you go to your combat. They have this kind of like hub that you can go to when it's time to go into combat. You can choose which mission you want to go on. You can choose which characters to bring, and then it gets into the battle, which the battles can, you know, be short or long depending on how it goes, right? And each character has these different cards that represent their abilities, but when you use them, it's like it's action on the screen. It's not like a card just does something. You actually see the character do stuff, and it's a lot of strategy involved with how characters play off of each
Yeah, you
other.
also have to like build your deck and like upgrade your cards so you can have like better moves and stuff.
Yeah, and there's a lot that you can gain by going around the grounds and exploring to unlock things to end up helping that.
Yeah.
There's lot that goes into it. I mean, there's like you could just
They
spend
they added a
hours
lot of
just walking
characters too.
around and conversing with people and exploring the grounds, but then the story set pieces are great too.
You can also romance people if you're into that in games.
Yeah, yeah. You can sit in a jacuzzi with Wolverine and like a magic.
Blade and yeah.
Yeah, or whatever. It's just like
Yeah.
crazy off the wall stuff, man. But it just works. So yeah, they did a really good job with that. But unfortunately, it just didn't do as good as it could have. But hopefully, it's had some legs, right? But yeah, I would definitely
Didn't they shut
recommend
them
it.
down though?
No, for Access is still around. They're actually making another game.
For some reason I thought Take-Two shut them down. Or did they
Yeah,
sell them off or something? I don't remember.
no, they had layoffs.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, but I
I knew
think
something happened after they launched it.
yeah, I mean they just had Civ come out.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, Civ 7 is another Firaxis game. So, but yeah, another one I'll recommend if you like tactics games. So, well, guys, we had a big reveal. Everybody was hyped to watch this on the 12th, which was Saturday. Everybody was glued to YouTube, glued to Twitter, glued everywhere because something that rarely ever happens. Bungie reveals a new game. And yeah, we already knew, they were making Marathon because they had a trailer for it before, but it was just a good little cinematic trailer. And Saturday was the big reveal of what is Marathon? What is the future of Bungie? Right? What is going to be the next big thing in gaming because Bungie dictates what people play in the first person shooter genre, sci-fi genre, whatever. And so a lot of people were excited because anytime Bungie has a big game reveal, it's a big deal. It doesn't happen very often. You have your Destiny stuff that's been going on for a long time, and then whenever they announce the newest expansion or whatever, that was always a big deal. You had obviously the Halo days, the Bungie glory days, but this is Bungie since has been with another new ownership group now with Sony, and there's been a lot of turmoil going on with Bungie over the last couple of years. A lot of layoffs, a lot of pointed fingers, a lot of weird stuff going on with cars. As the one of the guys that cashed out with Bungie, I forget the name, Paul something, I believe, ended up just buying a shit ton of cars or something like that, like showcasing, and
Yeah.
and then they ended up laying off all these people like right after he did it. Like, so I remember one of the former employees was like, he had literally just taken her, I think, on a
Yeah,
tour to see all of his new cars that he got with his
yeah.
bonus from the sale of Bungie to Sony. And then, like the day after or something, or within a week, she was laid off. And uh, there was a lot of turmoil because potentially a lot of people got laid off in a way that made them not get everything that they should have or deserved as well. So there's been a lot of turmoil going on. The studio has been uh, up and down. That people were really down on Destiny, and then the final shape came out. The Destiny community was happy again for a while. Then I don't know how it stands now. I know the PvP community was very unhappy for Destiny because they abandoned it to work on Marathon. Um, but yeah, this was the reveal of Marathon, and I watched it. I watched the cinematic trailer that they had, and I watched the gameplay trailer. But before I give too much of my thoughts, I'm curious on y'all's. Like I've seen mixed reactions out there, some from the mass media, and also some from a lot of fans that are looking forward to the next big thing from Bungie. Seemed to be not necessarily like this is garbage, but like maybe a little underwhelmed. Is the best way to put it. Now, Fuzzy, were you a Destiny guy?
Kind of. I off again, on again kind of thing. Like original Destiny, I was all in at the beginning, and then I made it to max level and realized that yeah, there wasn't much to do in the end game in the early vanilla days. But set it aside, stopped playing it. Destiny 2 came out, and it's like, oh, it's part of the Destiny 1's in there, and blah blah blah. Hopped in. I think I really hopped in deep when they brought it to Game Pass because I was not paying for it any further. Um, and I did a couple of the expansions, which eventually they sunset. But all in all, had a good time with it a couple of times, with depending on the DLCs that they or the seasonal, not seasonal, but the expansions that they did. I can't remember exactly the names of them, but I know like somewhere around the 1100 score and 1400 score and 1900 score, which I think was where I finally fell off. Um, it was a good game. I finally got the grip of it as far as like the gear and leveling up weapons in comparison to being a Division fan the entire time. Um, and it was a nice alternative. But from what I saw with Marathon art style, I can deal with. Wasn't what I was hoping for, I guess. But then again, that's kind of like what they showed in the beginning anyway. But it would take some, not really some getting used to, but it could be cool if cosmetics allow you to do certain things. But I wish they would give more info on how that works with the operators or their the runners, the different classes, which I guess they only showed 4 out of 6 or something. Um, with those different runners, how much customization? Like, are you able to choose all the color patches on them? Are you able to pick different like heads or body types or anything? So it'll be interesting to see how that works. But if they're just static, kind of like what they showed, we'll see. But I guess my big thing is if they're doing the wipe like Tarkov is, which I'm hearing that that's going to be the case because otherwise you'd
I think
have
that's the point
level,
of seasons.
yeah, otherwise you'd have leveled up players that are always going to just spank new players. So if they're doing kind of like a Diablo seasonal thing, I could get used to it. It would be cool if cosmetic stuff carries over. That's the one thing that Tarkov doesn't do. Um, like if you were to get like Tequila, I think it's Tequila's head or helmet or whatever, you can't. I don't think you get that to carry over, or the sweatsuit you can't get to carry over and stuff like that. But cosmetics, if they can make those carry over, that would be I wouldn't say a have to have, but that would definitely be a plus as far as for my interest. But I assume gunplay is going to be as good as what Bungie typically puts out. Um, the one thing that I am not sure on how, because they didn't really go into detail, is the whole faction sponsor thing. Like in Tarkov, you at least have the ability to play as a scav, earn some cash, and you
Well,
can build up
see,
your
I
your
was getting
loadout or
the
something.
idea that those like the faction sponsored was kind of like the contracts people in Tarkov, where like you talk to the medic person, they give you like a quest, you do a few of those quests, you level up the medic person, so they give you a discount.
So
Yeah.
Like that's what I kind of got.
So
But okay,
shout out to Steel, who's actually been making a lot of posts and talking about this game a lot because he actually took the time to break down a lot of the details that were revealed in like an interview type discussion from Kevin Yanis, senior design lead. So I had reposted this on Twitter on the yesterday. So I'm just gonna run down Steele's points that he took away from this. Again, shout out to Steel Rain, Living Split Screen, Fun Spec fan. We got skins and cosmetics are earned in game. XP is gained between runs and is constant. Bounty and contracts are team wide. Everyone gets the benefit of completing. Story and lost contracts intended for long-term gameplay unlock more as you play. Seasonal structure. Progression matters. Seasonal wipes. But keep what's earned. So I think like the things you earn, like the cosmetics maybe and stuff like that, is what you keep, right? But not the like things that were gonna make you stronger or whatever. Right. Runners have a general purpose, but are more so based on and adaptable to personal playstyle. Feel Bungie can bring something special to the extraction hero genre. Core pillar being the world pushing back, but keeping the sense of progress. Enemies are learnable. Carry similar mindset as a battle royale. Segments of maps are destructible. Windows, doors open, shutters close, maybe more. Special events are random every match. Ranking system and unranked as well. No vehicles, no friendly fire. Assigned exfil, additional exfils that are guarded, also one final chance. Can exfil down but not out. Can intentionally set up. I don't know what that means necessarily. Can drop self-revive and opposing teams can pick up. So those are some of the details that he gathered from that Kevin Giannis. I think that was via one of their, when they were talking about the game and all that kind of stuff.
The biggest question I have that still has not been answered, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's out there somewhere that I just haven't really looked it up, but is like in Tarkov example, like they kind of start you with a few like kind of okay weapons, whatever you go in, you kind of get better gear. But if you just die 5 times in a row, you have nothing, so you have to play as a scav to go in and get more gear. How does it work in this game where if like you die your first 5 runs in a row, you have no gear?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little like, I've never played Tarkov, right? I mean, I've played, like, my experience with extraction shooters is, the Division 1, primarily. The Dark Zone that I played quite a bit in there. I didn't do as much in the Division 2. Rainbow Six Extraction.
I don't even like.
Yeah,
people say that's extract, but it's not. It's not like this. It's not even in the same boat as these kind of games. So,
then you have like, I would say last year's Zombies mode, the open world one, was kind of in a way because you keep what you earn with your exfiltration when you extract, right? It's open world as well, kind of. But there wasn't a. I don't know. I don't think I've ever played like a true like extraction shooter. You know what I mean? I did with the Call of Duty Warzone one that they had, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't really dig it too much. I never even came across enemies in that shit, for some reason. And we played it together, Jasper, like very couple times.
Yeah.
It was fun just kind of walking around looting and stuff like that, and then getting the hell out of there. But so I don't really know like how I feel about what I saw because it doesn't really translate well to me to other games. I got Apex vibes from it. With the movement style.
I guess like I was saying, like probably the closest example we have to this game right now is the Crytek game. I'm blanking on the name. The Western one where you fight
Hunt
like
Showdown. Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, Hunt Showdown. Like I think that's probably the closest example to this game out there right now, honestly.
And I've only dabbled and that I've launched it a few times. I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing, and I just kind of turned it off. But it's gorgeous and it looks cool. But it's one I would need to play with friends and like,
Yeah.
hey, let's do this together and figure this out, and start to get on that. And that's a popular game, so maybe eventually it's one I want to get into because I love the style of it, but it just never have. I like the concept of extraction shooters. I just has there been one that's like ultra successful yet on console?
I mean,
On
I think
console.
maybe the Crytek's probably the best one on console.
Yeah.
Right. It has a
I mean,
good player
I
base.
still kind of consider Division, but it's like you keep your gear other than the gear that you keep the gear that you brought in.
Yeah.
Anything you find there, if you don't extract, you lose kind of thing.
But even the Division Dark Zone mode, it's still like, it's not even like in the same boat as like a Tarkov or something like that. So
I mean, survival was closer, but still not the same level. Like the couple of key things that were mentioned in Steele's breakdown, but I'm wondering if some of it is inaccurate, only because like the no friendly fire, great, that's perfect. But I thought you could turncoat like you can in the Division, because they showed a part where you're stabbing your own team, like if you want to take the stuff. So, and they said solo is supposed to be not fun, or that it's going to be a lot harder. It's, I guess, like with Tarkov, you can solo it, but if you come across, was it a 3-man or 4-man team or something like that? Yeah, you're SOL. So
I would imagine if you solo a game like that, you just want to try and avoid contact with people.
Or you could spawn camp kind of the extraction point, or certain key doors or key locks and things like that.
With the Division 1 and the Dark Zone, I used to do that because I didn't really play with many people on the Division 1 multiplayer wise, so I would like find a spot and I would like snipe at the extraction spot just for the hell of it, and they're all fighting other teams all at the extraction spot, and I'm far away and I'm just taking like pop shots just for the hell of it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I did, and it was an asshole thing to do, but it was fun watching these people trying to get to that damn chopper, and they're all caught up with each other, and I'm just like over there by myself, no too far away for any of them to worry about, really. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I would do with that. But yeah, the gameplay likewise, I thought like looked fun and looked good, but it doesn't look like anything that I haven't played before. Right, like as far as like combat goes, like I got Apex vibes, Destiny vibes, stuff like that. Graphics wise or anything, it wasn't like, oh my god, this is amazing. I thought it was a cool art style, whatever. So I think it's just going to come down to how it feels, really, and how addicting and how competitive it feels. And that's something that's hard to translate, I think, on a presentation or a video trailer. So
really wish it had proximity chat though.
Yeah.
Because probably early on, I mean, yeah, everybody's going to be going for kills and things like that, but there's going to be teams that are going to want to team up at least for start or at certain runs. So if you're, if somebody starts their own clan or something like that, it's like, okay, let's get them through so we can, get the power ups for his, runner and stuff like that. So proximity chat, yes, I know the whole toxic thing. Have it per player. If the player chooses to turn it off, so be it. But if you want it on, so that way you can say, hey, just trying to do complete a quest or something like that kind of thing, which sometimes people leave you alone in Tarkov. Sometimes they just instantly snipe you, but like at least have something so you can possibly team up with another 3-man team or something like that.
I mean, it does like kind of deter teaming in that kind of game if you don't have proximity chat, but at the same time, like I think it's almost a disservice to this game, especially with the mixed reactions where like if you have proximity chat, you're going to create those clippable moments that everyone sees on TikTok, and you're just not going to get that now.
Yeah, like the guy talking shit on like, like making noise when he's behind somebody that's laying down sniping or whatever, or
like you down a guy and then you just run up to him and start trolling him and shit, like.
What did y'all think of the characters, the runners?
I think
Cool
the
mix.
Void was the best looking one. Other than that, they all kind of look shitty.
I like the girl that had the tape on her mouth. She was pretty cool. But so
Oh,
I
like what was that? The glitcher or something where you get that rainbow kind of behind you when you move, kind of thing. Is
yeah,
that what that was?
I don't remember. I watched the long cinematic trailer they had first,
Yeah.
right? And I watched
Mhm.
that and I was like, oh, this shit's pretty cool. I was watching it and I was like, okay, the characters seem cool, like the style of the world seemed cool. Like I don't know what's going on with like how it seems like there's a history of this world where everybody got turned into these robots or something from some kind of invasion or I don't know what happened. And then now they have no memory of them past selves and they're like serving this corporation or something. I don't really know what's going on, right? But watching that, I was like interested to learn about what's going on. I like how they did like, oh, this is me, the younger me, and they showed them different outfits like respawning, kind of, and before they get launched back into the zone, and like seeing them and kind of their personalities, and then watching them kind of go against each other out there in the field. That I was like, okay, that was really really cool. So that had me really interested with the cinematic trailer, and it kind of made me wish, man, that there was like a fucking campaign to this or
Yeah.
something, that like I could, because that's what one of the things I think Bungie always did well was their stories with their campaigns and their worlds and stuff, and that's one of the reasons like I fell off of Destiny after Destiny 1 came out and I beat the campaign. I wanted more good story content, and it took forever for that to happen, and I kind of fell off at that point. But I was super into the story at that point. Um, and Halo, obviously, they did what they did. So I I find it kind of strange to see a big Bungie game come out and it's just only like this multiplayer thing. And I see what they created with this cinematic trailer, and I'm like, man, I want to play as one of these characters in this world, like living the story. And I know they're trying to drag it out through like seasons, probably, and all these other kind of things are gonna have stuff, drop. But
Yeah, but
kind of
even with that, the story's just going to be like a couple trailers at the beginning of the season, maybe one at the end of the season if you do all the quests and stuff. But like, I feel like most of the quests, at least if they do like the Tarkov example, you're going to go pick up a piece of paper in a fucking building and you're going to get some lore, and then you're going to go back to base, turn in the paper, and then the guy's going to be like, "Oh, thanks, you collected my fucking paper. Now go give me another piece of paper from this other place." It's like,
right, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
be
I
curious
was
what they
trying to
could
think
do.
like I was trying to think as far as if they were to do a campaign because I have a feeling this isn't going to do as well as they hope. They
Yeah.
may still continue to support it 2 seasons in, but I don't think it's going to quite grab the Destiny crowd, and I doubt it's going to grab the Tarkov crowd. If anything, honestly, I think it'll grab more of the Division One diehards and some of those that were into that Dark Zone, the original Dark Zone setup. Uh, but as far as like a campaign, even if it's just scouting, like, all right, your mission is to drop off med packs for those that are actually in that zone, doing the runs. Drop off med packs at like certain drop off points, or scan certain areas to see if the red building or the blue building has the key codes or something like that. See if you can spot where some of the runners are going, or if the robots are repairing the building that was blown up in the last run, kind of thing. Like have that as like a practice for people so they get used to the movement and the gunplay for the runners and stuff. It would probably be boring after about the first 5 hours or 10 hours, but at least have that as like your onboarding teaching type of thing without having to really do that much expansion stuff. But I mean, it is going to be interesting to see how a PvP VE only Bungie game works when it doesn't seem like you're dealing in gear that you wear as much falling off kind of thing. Like, well, I guess you're getting implants that will make your character better, or you're getting like the insert or whatever for the shield that you'll carry around. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels weird on how I guess the weapons will be the main thing that you'll focus on, and however many attachments or what types of attachments will synergize with whatever you know cores. I guess is what they said for the runners. That'll be the main thing. They'll have like stats as well as other traits and things to it. So
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
I've signed up for the alpha to try it out, but just from like what we saw the other day, like this extraction shooter doesn't seem as in depth as a lot of other ones, and I think that's going to hurt it. For one, this is a personal reason for me. Like, I just feel like the world looks kind of boring. It's just like these green and blue walls that are like pretty flat and basic. I'm just like, I'm not loving like the actual like structures and stuff in the game. And then also, it's going to be right around the corner from GTA. So this game has a major uphill climb that I feel like it has to do. But I don't
Yeah,
know. I could be
it's
wrong.
like I get you too on the world because I really liked what I saw in the cinematic trailer. I was like, oh wow, this is
Yeah.
great, it looks great. But then because I love the color scheme, how they're doing the art style on that, but then it just didn't translate when I actually saw the game. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
and the game looked fine. It's not like, oh my god, this looks horrible, or whatever. But it's just like, hey, this is another shooter. It could have been not Bungie.
Yeah.
It could have been Joe
Yeah.
Schmo company coming out with their first take on a game, like for their first game. If you were to say this was like Frag Punk, or like
Yeah.
one of these. I'm just naming one of a million. There's several of them that always come out. Or this company from X. Oh, this is their first game, and like gameplay wise, like it doesn't scream like we are fucking Bungie and we can do things better than anybody else. You know what I mean? It just seems like, hey, yeah, cool. Like this is shooter that everybody's knows what to expect and has experienced before. It's just extraction shooter in a different art style, and than you're used to. It's in more the Bungie art style, I don't know. Maybe it's like we could get our hands on it and play it,
Mhm.
and I could have that like moment that I had when I first played Apex Legends, and I just got sucked into it for months, because the gameplay felt so damn good compared to other battle royales out there and stuff. And I got ultra competitive and like super hardcore into it for a while. Or it could just be like, oh yeah, cool, right?
Yeah.
The
There's a lot pointing towards the oh yeah, cool, and
yeah,
not the let me stick with it for a while,
yeah. But that
But
was
I
a
mean, I could be
benefit
wrong.
for Apex
Yeah.
not to have a lead up. When it came
Yeah.
out, it just dropped and it was free to play. So there was no excuse for people to be like, oh, Respawn, new game, it's free, might as well just try it. You know what I mean? But this one, there's a lead up. They're going to want to market it a lot because it is a paid for title, right? They didn't say full price title, so they said premium title. So what I'm
Mhm.
assuming is they'll fall in line with the Concord slash Helldivers 2 thing for $40, and I don't know if that's been confirmed yet or not, but I've seen a lot of people say that it's going to be $40. Now it worked great for Helldivers 2, right? Which was a
Yeah.
great new experience that a lot of people love. The game's still doing great. Shit did not work at all for Concord. Um, and I'm curious now. Bungie's going to obviously do better than Concord because Bungie's name and alone holds some weight to it, where you're going to have gamers want to get this and give it a try. So I don't think we're going to see the ridiculousness of like there's there's 81 concurrent players right now in like the first within the first week. I think we're going to see definitely in the thousands and thousands for sure. But how will it hold up? Will it do what Helldivers 2 did? Will it do more than that? Will it do like what Halo Infinite did, which was great to start out, and then they kind of tailed off, and then it had its ups and downs. Or will it be something that a couple years after Sony doesn't see the investment worthwhile anymore and ends up giving up on. Whereas I could see Bungie, if that happens, I could see Bungie like, we need a new owner again. Or we need to buy ourselves out again or something to try and save themselves. But
I think they can now.
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, aren't they like? I think they lost that ability or something. I'm
I
not
feel
sure.
like all the leadership is gone, so at this point they're just like kind
We'll
of
start a new
stuck with
Bungie.
Sony. Yeah.
E-rank says that'll be 86 concurrent players improvement. I mean, what is this? I mean, this game's been in development for a long time. This game, like, Sony was counting on this to be a big deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the reasons they bought Bungie. One of the main reasons because they wanted their next game. It wasn't just because of Destiny. So, like, what does this need to do for it to be considered a success?
Oof. Well, I just want to touch on pricing because I've heard a lot of people say 40. I've heard some people closer to Sony say $59.99, not $39.99. I'm gonna say if it's $59.99, it ain't gonna make it because the thinking behind it is more premium than Concord. It is more premium than Helldivers. It is Bungie. It is
Fucking
their.
Concord cost them $400 million to make.
This will be, a percentage of that $4 billion it cost them to acquire. So
Right.
I'm hearing $59.99.
I mean,
So
like
hold
I
on
hear,
to your wallets.
yeah, like I hear people complain about the price and be like, no, it should be a free to play game. Like I kind of get that too, but at the same point, like every other extraction shooter that's just an extraction shooter costs money. Like there isn't really a free to play one out there. So
How much is
this would be
expensive.
I think the lowest price you can get for Tarkov is like 30, maybe 50 at this point. I don't know. They've like kind of raised the prices, I feel like, as it's evolved. But
I think before they got rid of the moon pack or the midnight pack or whatever it was, I think it was 79 or something. But now if you want the extra storage space, which you definitely want, and if you want the single player, I think it's upwards of 150. I could be wrong. That's where I was at that cusp of doing it, and then they were like, "Oh, well, we're not doing the single player until we get rid of."
There's a $50 option for the standard edition, and then the highest edition is $250. Yeah,
oh, it's $250 now.
Okay. Yeah,
because that's what the arena and the single player, right?
So like, would they sell different components of the game separately? I don't know anything about Tarkov.
Yeah. So you just get like extra stuff, and like the main thing with Tarkov that everyone buys the extra edition for is you get a protected box that you can carry with you. So like if you die and you put items in that box, you always get those items guaranteed.
Yeah,
I did that.
So you
with
have a protected storage.
Warzone Zombies thing, right?
Yeah, but Marathon's not going to have protected storage. I'm pretty sure they said that. So
yeah, that's going to suck.
This will be one for sure that I kind of gauge what everybody says, and like if it seems like everybody's pumped and excited, my FOMO will get me, and I'll probably want to try it out.
Yeah,
but like I will need it to be engaging and keep me wanting to go back to justify paying like $60 for a multiplayer only type game, right? Now Battlefield 2042, I was super happy to do it. It was $70. I was there day one because I love Battlefield, so it's not. I mean, out of the question that these things can happen.
I think the major thing that Marathon can do to maybe stand out is with their seasonal updates. Where like the problem I have with Tarkov is after every wipe, you just do the same thing over again. You do the same quest over and over again. Like if Marathon can actually change it up where each season there's a different quest line and storyline or however they plan it out where each wipe is different, I could see it sticking around longer. But if it's like Tarkov, and this is the major complaint I have, like I was saying, is like you just literally do the same quest every 6 months. It gets old.
Right. Well, maybe that'll be the special sauce. Maybe that's what they're able to achieve with this, right? Which, if for me, that would be cool because that would be the story stuff that I would want to see evolve with it. I just, I hope, you know how like all these games end up having their like in between season cutscene things and where they evolve
Yeah.
things, introduce new characters, and this would be new runners and all that stuff, right? Like I hope the quality of that and the storytelling with it is good enough to make you actually give a shit. Because a lot of these
And then
you
till you
just
get
end
in
up
the
skipping or whatever, it don't really care,
yeah,
you know.
and then you get in the game, and the first quest is like, deliver 2 batteries to this one location. Congratulations, and then you got to leave and then come back in and get another quest, and it's like, now
Yeah.
go give a water bottle to this person. It's like, bro, I don't fucking care.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see at the reaction. And I forgot what the release date was. I think they said it was
September 23rd,
September. Yeah,
September 20th. That's
9/23/25, I think.
it's either 23rd or 28th. I can't remember.
Imagine GTA 6 announced for like a week after. I mean, it's possible. They said fall.
Well, if they do that, then I can tell you that I'm not playing Marathon.
Yeah, same.
Right.
GTA it is.
Y'all think GTA Online will launch with GTA 6 this time, like day and date, or do you think they'll stagger it?
Yes,
tough
if there's
one.
no major issues close to launch.
Right.
Because I feel like they delayed GTA 5 Online just because they had a bunch of back-end problems.
Oh, Alvin, that's Borderlands Day, the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but Borderlands is a big game, even of itself. So I wouldn't like. I don't know. That's gonna be a big day for gamers. I mean, Borderlands, like they usually do like around 20 million in sales. It seems like for the Borderlands games, right? And now you have that same day Marathon come out. That'll be a fun day for sure.
Yeah.
So for gaming at least, we got lots of people trying different stuff.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it's interesting to see all the reactions though. I did see, for the most part, and maybe I'm wrong because I'm not in tune with like the Bungie community anymore, like I was in the Halo days. But I did see mostly lukewarm reception,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so that can't be too exciting for them to see, right?
I think it's just one of those things where people have to get their hands on it and kind of decide for themselves at a certain point, and they need to. I signed up for the alpha. They're supposed to give you like multiple codes so you can give to friends, but I think they need to run like a more public, like once it comes out, like I'm sure they will, but like a public kind of beta thing or whatever, where you can just kind of jump in whenever you want.
Right on.
Yeah. They definitely need to do an open beta before September, obviously, but like at some point, I think that will be the big, deciding factor. More people playing, getting, getting their stuff taken from them, kind of thing. Seeing
also,
how
like,
easy
I
it might
could
be to come
see
back and whatnot.
could see that could be a major problem for them because with this mixed reaction, I think there's gonna be a lot of people like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about this game.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I didn't see like a bunch of negative on the characters and stuff or anything like that
Yeah.
so far. Like,
Yeah.
that seems like people at least like it's not like Concord where everybody's like, "What the fuck are these things?" You know. I think overall, like, I mean, it's got definitely a chance to. I mean, it'll do better than Concord, that's for sure. So that's at least
Yes.
saying something. It'll do. I think it'll do pretty good, and then we'll see how the longevity stays or if it takes off or whatever. Because people will buy it just because it's a Bungie game.
Yeah. I think the Bungie name alone is good for 2 million units sold.
Yeah, it'll have a player base at first for sure.
Yeah.
It'll have a lot of streamers trying it out, playing it. You're gonna have a lot of
Yeah, I mean they had a bunch of streamers, I guess, sponsored or whatever for this reveal. Like if you went on Twitch, like all the big streamers were streaming it with drops enabled and stuff.
Also in multiplayer news, and I'm curious if you saw this, Jasper, because you were an Overwatch guy at one point. I don't know if you still dabble.
Yeah, I didn't look into it, but I did see it today.
Yeah, so apparently, and I saw this via Jez on Twitter at Windows Central. That Overwatch 2 made a huge announcement where they are actually having a stadium mode with third-person gameplay. and to try and kind of, I guess, combat, Marvel Rivals hype right now. But yeah, this is what it says from Windows Central. It says Overwatch 2 leverages MOBA traditions in its new stadium mode, allowing players to pick up new abilities and equipment in evolving round-based play. It says, spurred by increased competition, Overwatch 2 is coming back strong with a new game mode, Stadium. Revealed a little while ago, Stadium is a brand new experience for Overwatch 2, bringing a hint of Counter-Strike and League of Legends into the mix. Complete with round-based play and third-person perspective options. Stadium mode has an economy layer where players can buy perks and equipment to boost their characters round over round. Microsoft and Blizzard dropped a new gameplay trailer today that showcases some of the new features ahead of press and creator access later today.
Yeah, so what I saw today that I was like, I saw that it was like new stadium mode or whatever, and then like the second line I read was you can like buy your loadout or whatever. I'm like, I'm out. I was like, I don't fucking want to do that.
You don't like that Overwatch shit or like
Yeah.
Rogue Company,
Well, Rogue Company was fine. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like buying your loadout like in Overwatch just seems kind of stupid.
Well, I mean, this is like a new thing for them, so I think they're trying to attract a different kind of gamer than just the traditional Overwatch gamer as well, like people that like these other kind of games as well. So it'll be interesting to see. I didn't have a chance to actually catch that trailer yet, which I'm going to here at after the show and stuff, but could be a big deal for them. I know that Marvel Rivals has been the biggest thing in free-to-play gaming lately. So and more and more, and they've been just killing it with new content constantly, it seems like. And it seems like every time I open up Twitter, there's like this new thing in Marvel Rivals, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, they just dropped season 2, added Emma Frost. I feel like I still personally like Overwatch better just because I feel like the characters are more well balanced and thought out. And I think that's going to be the problem Marvel Rivals has in the long term, whereas they just add so many characters that just like, fuck it, this dude, he just blows shit up, and it's like not balanced anymore. Like, I don't know, because they're supposed to they want to add like a character like every couple weeks or some shit. They said it's like so.
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't played Overwatch in like forever, really. So it's one that I want to dive back into. But I also want to play Marvel Rivals. So it's like, but I'm also playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm also playing South of Midnight. Also, Doom's about to come out. Clair Obscure Expedition 33 is coming out. Fuck. Like, I don't know how we have time to play all the stuff that we want to play right now.
know that also kind of while we're on the topic of stuff coming out and what we're playing. I did see a comment that I kind of forgot about this too, but Arc Raiders is supposed to come out at the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
Which is another extraction game. So,
and that one,
it'd be
actually more excited for that one than Marathon.
Yeah, that's from Embark, the makers of Finals.
Finals, yeah.
And the Finals, like, gameplay is fucking great. Like, it's really.
I mean, I've played Arc Raiders like, I don't know, like 2 years ago at this point, and it was very rough, and I hated it. So, I mean, but it's been 2 years, so maybe it's changed.
Yeah. I mean, I seeing what I learned, like playing early previews of games, right? I remember the first time I tried X Defiant to what they ended up actually shipping with. Right now, I granted the game ended up getting like, they cut it off and all that other kind of stuff, but it was about a 2-year time period between those two things, between launch and when I first played my first preview of X Defiant. That preview, I don't know how anybody can even give real feedback on it, because it was just hot flaming dog shit. It's like, what do you think of this hot flaming dog shit unplayable mess? That's just shitty in every single possible way.
Was kind of.
I think it's shitty in every possible way. Thanks for the feedback. Like, what is that going to do for them? You know what I mean?
That was kind of the problem I had with Arc Raiders. It was supposed to be an extraction shooter, and there was literally no loot anywhere, and there was like one fucking NPC enemy, and then you couldn't find any players. So I was like, oh, okay.
Right, but like it's probably not any way reflective of what the game is actually going to be like. So it's like, hard. But seeing what X Defiant turned into was like, okay, this is a kind of a playable, fun thing, or whatever. From the just straight up diarrhea that I experienced to begin with, I know that things can change drastically from those early preview builds. Um, and I wouldn't I would have faith in the Arc Raiders at least for gameplay because of the finals with how that plays, right? Ex Dice or ex Battlefield devs at Embark making these games too. So, I think there's a level of quality hopefully we can expect from Arc Raiders. But yeah, I'm curious to keep my eye on that because that one seems super interesting to me. Much more than Marathon, much more than
Yeah.
any other extraction shooter I've seen or any of these other free to play type games I keep seeing for multiplayer get announced. Yeah, we're curious when we're going to see more of that. The last trailer for it was pretty cool. But didn't really have a lot of actual gameplay in it. So, um,
PTA asked a question. He's like, "What do you guys think about the Marathon only shipping with 3 maps?" And I saw a lot of people talking about that. I think a lot of people are expecting more like, I guess, Call of Duty level where you ship with like 16 maps or whatever, and then like this is an extraction shooter. Like,
yeah, it's not
I was only expecting 1 map to begin with, let
right.
alone them having 3. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's different because like a game again. I go back to the battle royales, right? They usually launch with
Yeah.
1 map, and they're infinitely replayable because it's each game is an experience of itself, and it's just the world is kind of like
Yeah.
the it's like the world you play in, kind of, and it's massive, and every game's going to play out differently or whatever. Like you could same thing for everybody that plays Warzone every day. They're playing mainly on 1 map, right? But over time, those add maps and stuff. And I'll be honest with you, Apex Legends died for me when the new map came out.
Yeah.
The first map
Yeah.
they had was fucking incredible. They made little improvements and changes to it over time, right? And then when they were like, "Hey, fine, we have a new map," and I was forced to
And
play
then
on
it came
that.
out, and everyone was like, "Can we have the old map back, please?"
Yes, I was like, I hate this fucking map. So it's different. Yeah, it's definitely different than like a arena shooter where you need like 10, 12, 14, 16 maps or whatever. But I think part of the stigma with that too, Jasper, is that it is a paid for title.
Yeah, but
So
like
it's a
I
premium
just
title, so people have a different level of thinking in their head of like content. So they're like,
I just I
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just thinking it's like the perception of content versus dollars spent. People have this
Yeah, I just feel like a lot
thinking,
of people, they just don't know what an extraction shooter is. Because,
Yeah.
like,
'Cause Bungie's not used to
it's,
that with Bungie, right? Either.
yeah, also, but like, Tarkov only had a few maps at launch. They've added maps over the years, but
Yeah.
still, like, an extraction shooter, it's like, I don't know, it just plays different. It's not like an arena, it's not like a battle royale. It's a smaller maps in a battle royale, but bigger maps than like an arena shooter. And you're in those maps for like 25, 30 minutes each. It's just a different kind of game.
I think
So
six runners
I'm
is more
okay
of
with
a.
it.
I think 6 runners is more of a problem than 3 maps.
I just don't feel like the runners are going to be that important to it overall. I think like you'll have your special ability with each one, but after that, it's just however you decide to play the game.
The Apex launched with
Yeah.
more than that, for sure. I can't remember how much they launched with, but then they came out with some pretty good cadence for a while. I earned so many points in the season 0 by playing through that I didn't have to buy a new legend that came out for like a year. Like every single one of them that came out and ended up getting up until later because of the way that their currency worked with the legend
Yeah, but I
tokens.
just don't feel like the characters in Marathon are really that important. Like, sure, you have like the void guy or whatever
Right.
that can go invisible, or like the guy that can run super fast or whatever. But like, besides that, I don't. It's just going to come down to gameplay style. Like, if you're aggressive, or if you want to snipe, or if you want to be a little bitch and hide in the bush and wait for the battle to be over. It's like,
Would you say that it was important with Apex at launch?
well, yes, because Apex is more like it's more the characters are more focused and like integrated into the game design. I feel like.
Right.
I don't know.
And the balancing of the matches.
I think the cores will probably be the big thing that'll make a difference. Like whether you have a shield or if you're able to do healing a little bit faster for your team, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Those will be probably the bigger factors more so than like what they show as the default. I just want to know what the other two are that they didn't show as far as the runners. But like if the maps are decent size, like imagine the Division map, the original one. As long as the map is bigger than, let's say, the Dark Zone, I think that's perfectly fine. Like if it's the size of the entire Division map, that's you might what they say 18 players, so you got what 6 teams of 3 or something. I don't know if a map that big is needed because you probably won't come across other teams unless there's like a special event that draws you all to it type of thing. But if it's like the Dark Zone from the original Division, I think that's a reasonable enough size for 18 players because I think Division only had it where you could have 20 people or 24 people in that map to begin with. So
yeah, I mean
sometimes
they
you
said
couldn't come
in
across
Marathon that like each map is gonna have a different player count. So I would assume like maybe one map's gonna be a little bit bigger and you have 24 players. One map may be a little smaller and you have like 12.
Yeah, I wonder how big these maps are gonna be, like as well. Like, usually, and again, I was more of a battle royale guy. That's why I keep referencing battle royales because I played a shit ton of Fortnite. I played a lot of Apex. I played those games, but extraction shooters I'm not as familiar with. But what I have played a little bit of the extraction stuff, they still had the massive maps, right?
Yeah.
So I'm expecting this to be like that kind of large scale, huge map type thing, right? Did they say how many players are going to be in the world?
Well, 18 is the player count on the map that
18?
they showed
Okay.
off. Yeah.
And there's squads of
And
3 or 4?
yes, but you
3.
can
It had to
queue
be 3.
solo.
Right.
Yeah, it's squads of 3 is maximum, but you can
Okay.
queue solo. So I'm assuming it's going to work like Tarkov, where you can go in solo, but you have a chance to run into a squad.
Right. And then you're going to have your, obviously your computer opponents. And I think a big part of this will be also like how good the enemy is that are, like Destiny, I think was
Well,
fun for the
well, if they're anything like Tarkov, they'll just aimbot you across the map. So
Yeah.
Well, like the part of the good thing about Destiny is that it had fun combat because I think of with the um PVE because the enemies were fun to play against, right?
yeah.
And I think that will be maybe a strength that Marathon has, maybe that some of the other extraction shooters don't have, is the actual quality of the NPC, like computer controlled characters that you're going against in the world.
I think they showed an instance where there were a lot of blue enemies, kind of thing, and then there was like one purple enemy that I guess the blue enemies were guarding or whatever, and that purple enemy was
Yeah.
like hitting a lot harder, I guess, than what the other AI were hitting. So I remember it wiped the one guy, and then the other guy went to help. And it was like they didn't get one shotted, but they almost got downed, kind of thing, from the purple enemy. So
Yeah, there was a couple instances where they saw that where you had like these smaller bodyguards where they could like one hit him with a knife, whatever, but then they went up to this captain or whatever, and there's like, oh, I stabbed this dude 3 times, he didn't go down, and then, like he died or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, well, that's Marathon. I mean, we'll keep our eyes on it and see how it does before it comes out. See if there's anything more. Right now, like I said, I'm kind of like reserved judgment on it. Like overall, it didn't like get me pumped. I was more pumped when I saw the cinematic thing than I was actually
Yeah.
the game. But maybe closer to launch, there will be some more stuff come out or whatever. But I think it'll be one of those games that people just got to play, and it'll be based on like people be like, "Oh, you got to come play Marathon, man. This is fucking badass." Oh shit, yeah. Screw all the other shooters out there right now. Marathon's the shit. It's like it'll take that kind of thing to turn it into a sensation. The thing that Bungie
Yeah.
has is their franchises.
Everyone's willing to try it. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's
'Cause they
willing to
know the
try
Bungie.
it, but Bungie has only launched Sensations since they've been owned by Microsoft. Before when they were at Apple making games for Apple, they already had smaller
They had
audience,
Marathon
obviously.
and
Yeah,
Oni, and it didn't really do
yeah,
anything.
yeah. But now you have Bungie making like Halo and Halo. They did all those Halos, and then you go into Destiny. So those were game changers for gaming, right? And so they got a lot to live up to as a studio. It'll be hard for them to even come close to that, but we'll see. Maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll do it again. Maybe they will make the extraction shooter that becomes what Tarkov was on PC, like this massive sensation on consoles, and become the next addicting thing that black hole game that everybody plays. Time will tell. Time will tell. So there's a game that launched on Game Pass. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but everybody's been talking about it. So I was curious if either of you guys had a chance to try it. It's Blueprints.
Saw it today, and I looked through the screenshots, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
So it's like I haven't read too much about it, but I saw like it's got like tons of nines all over the place. Keep seeing games media people talk about it. I see people in our chat talking about it now. I see this is kind of like becoming this indie game that's like taken off this year. It's in Game Pass day and date. But it's got word of mouth like crazy about how good this game is. So
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like a walking simulator looking game. Looks like just the gameplay style kind of reminds me of like a have you ever played Edith Finch or whatever it was called?
yeah.
So it's like kind of one of those, it seems like. So it's
Okay.
probably like some emotional
I
indie
think it's
artsy
like
fartsy
point
game.
and click puzzles, kind of go
Yeah.
around this mansion kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fuzzy, have you seen anything about this Blueprints game everybody's talking about?
I saw some, watched the trailer of it and watched or looked at some of the stills of it. Mist vibes. I think there's some room change stuff that you can do to kind of change up, I guess, where you're going or things to match up with the puzzle aspect of it. But haven't downloaded it yet. We'll probably get to it after Shadows. Like just finished South of Midnight, so AC Shadows is going to be the next go-to. Um, Looks interesting, but not normally my type of game. But it's one that it would be for gamer score more so than anything.
Yeah.
16 achievements, so we'll see how difficult it is to go through the 16. Looks like an average play time of about 13 hours, give or take. So you do main and extras 21, a completionist 32 hours. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. I was gonna start it, and I was like, but I remember playing Botany Manor with my daughter, and I remember that she really liked that, and it's a puzzle game. I'm not usually as into puzzle games, so I was like, maybe me and Kate and my daughter all kind of play that one together and see what it's about. See if we get into it at some point. Yeah, we'll see on that. But yeah, it's potentially the people talking game of the year type candidate. But nominee for the indie category this year. Obviously, with Silk Song coming out later this year, it'll have some heavy competition, right?
I mean, if Silk Song comes out,
Yeah, it's supposed to. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But Silk Song is like
Yeah.
Hollow Knight's an indie darling. So there's been that has had so much hype around it for so long. And I don't. Did they ever announce a date for Replaced yet?
They pushed it to 26. I
26?
know it
Okay.
was shown last year, so it was supposed to come out in 25, but they made an announcement, I think, in February. It's pushed to 26.
Right on. And I gotta ask Fuzz, I gotta ask you about this, Fuzz. I know you're probably trying to get tidbits ready, and I'm interrupting you. But I gotta ask you about this. Were you on with Boom earlier today?
Yeah.
Okay. because I was out at work all day and I didn't really see anything, and I was trying to think about like what do we talk about on the show today, and obviously I want to talk about Marathon and stuff. And then Kate was like, "Well, Boom had some like breaking news or something." I was like, "Oh yeah, like what was it?" And she said that there were like a new prototype is being made, and this was like a thing.
Yeah, that
And
came out on Saturday.
I've not seen anything about this because I've been like head
It was in
other
our DMs.
places. I missed it.
Yeah.
So what
Like,
can
it was in our
somebody
DMs Saturday.
tell me what this is going on about about a new prototype game potentially being made at Activision? Because I didn't have a chance to watch Boom's show and I missed it going on the internet.
Yeah. What apparently has happened is somebody broke NDA. Uh,
Okay.
they were apparently either doing surveys or I don't think they were doing the actual playtesting for the game, but the surveys that they were going through were leaning heavy towards things that would be seen or possibly be done in you know a new or third chapter in the prototype series. So some of the stuff that was discussed is like you're going to be able to shapeshift to infiltrate, um, certain areas and things like that, and have similar abilities. And I guess the character from the first one, Alex Driver or something like that, I think
Alex
I can't
Mercer.
remember. Mercer, yeah, that character is supposed to be the main focus for this third iteration. So we'll see. Um, I, NDAs are something I try not to break,
Mhm.
but it's kind of a known or a given that Xbox does do surveys for stuff that they're probably either close to or interested in to either making or releasing, um, just to kind of get feedback, and then the next step is usually the playtest aspect, or they may have a playtest, then more surveys, and then another playtest, but I don't know. Somebody as bold as to, break that. I'm just waiting for them to like be in like Push Square News. Xbox playtester arrested for breaking NDA. Well, not arrested, but like sued for, breaking NDA or something. So we'll see. But yeah, another prototype. Well, let's just go back to when Phil first talked about ABK being acquired. He talked about things like hexing, and he talked about things like Guitar Hero. So I can imagine them going into other IPs like Prototype and possibly reimagining those for a modern audience. So I don't know. I fingers crossed. I hope it's accurate, but it's going to suck to be that guy unless he has a pretty good lawyer. And even if he does, it's probably going to cost him a good bit of money if they can pin it who it is to who signed the NDA and stuff. So we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's kind of caught me off like out of the blue because like it's not necessarily thinking that like it's just not one I would expect, right? With all the IPs and stuff, I think it's awesome. It was just like, oh, they're actually maybe doing that. It was just kind of caught me off guard. Do you think that this is legit, Jasper, or do you think it's just kind of like um rumor
I
mill?
think it kind of, if it's a playtester, I could like if it's an
But
internal
I don't know
playtester,
what the
not just like someone.
I don't know what the confirmation is for this person. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
it just the only thing I saw from it was it said a playtester. There's rumored there's a new press purchase or whatever. So if it's internal, like someone that actually works at Activision leaked it, then I would say it's real. But if it's just like, because sometimes like Microsoft will contract this out to just like random people, then I would say no. It could just be fake. So I don't know. It's still up in the air.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a new one if it ever happens. But it just would be like okay, cool. I don't know if like the IP has been asked for and like that much to come back. I've seen some, right, for sure, and I think it'd be awesome. But they have a lot of other stuff too that I think I want them to make another deal with Transformers, which Hasbro's been screaming for themselves also, and come out with more fucking Transformers games. That would be cool, right? I think that'd be a lot more hype inducing. But we'll see. Maybe new prototypes in the works.
I think there would be enough of a player base to want to hop into it.
The thing
It
that's
would give us
hard with that though is I just don't know who's making it at Activision because
yeah.
everyone's on fucking Call of Duty. So the only team I could think of would be the Tony Hawk team because they're just now finishing up Tony Hawk. So maybe it's them.
Could Toys for Bob
But-
do it?
They're talking about Banjo Kazooie at this
I know.
point.
Yeah,
so
but
But they
Toys
have
for
a
Bob, I
game
think they're
that is
doing
making something, but we don't know what it is.
yeah, they're doing their own IP though. I thought with
Well, and it's not
Activision.
part. Well, it wouldn't make sense for the Activision leak because it's
Yeah.
not part of Activision anymore,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Although the supposedly Twist for Bob's game is in partner with Activision and Xbox, so there
yeah,
could
but
be a
I'm
little-
pretty sure it's their own game. It's not like another like known IP. I think it's their own IP, right?
I don't know. I don't know if we found out yet.
That's a good question on that one. We don't know.
Alvin says they have an entire new studio in Europe.
The
maybe that-
Poland studio out of Infinity Ward. I just assumed that was them helping with
Elsewhere?
the new Infinity Ward IP game.
Could be a lot.
Is
I
it-
mean, a lot of possibilities. Anyway, whatever this is, I don't think we'll hear about it for a while. If it is reality. And even like
I mean-
sometimes playtests can be like done early on to like get
Yeah.
feedback on before like they even decide to greenlight something. Maybe
Well, I mean, look at the Skate 3 playtest. It's been fucking out there for like, or Skate 4 playtest. It's been out there for like 4 years now or whatever.
I just think it would be cool to have like that anti-hero type of game. Yeah, we don't have, like a Marvel deal other than Blade. Probably, 2027-ish range. But like Infamous is another one on like PlayStation that I know a lot of people have asked for to return. This would be like
And then
the
PlayStation's
closest
like,
equivalent.
Ooh, what?
Yeah. Yeah, they're that studio's busy with what do you call it, Ghost of Yotai now. So 'cause I think it was Sucker Punch that did Infamous, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Sucker Punch. I would love another Infamous game, but it's not gonna probably happen because they're making not Sucker Punch is not making-
Spider-Man.
but that they got Insomniac doing the Spider-Man game. So I don't know if Sony's like we're gonna do Infamous and Spider-Man because they're both kind of superhero open world, games. Although I like Infamous more personally. The last one was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, do
Um,
like a crossover.
then there's another little thing. Supposedly, I saw this was posted on the Reddit thing, and so I'm assuming that Grubb said this because they said Grubb said this
What?
that the Oblivion remake may be the week of the 23rd or the week of the 21st.
At this point, I don't trust anyone with dates. This shit has been supposed to come out every fucking week since the last like 4 months now.
I think because people say that it's coming out, Xbox is like, nope, delay it another week. Oh,
Yeah.
somebody said the 23rd. Yeah, push it to May. It's
It
never.
seems like every insider is saying this with this one that it's happening soon. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's got to be something to it, but it is weird. I mean, a lot of people expected to see it at the Elder Scrolls event, obviously the Elder Scrolls
Mhm.
Online event, and then hey, Elder Scrolls, and we're gonna. Hey, also speaking of Elder Scrolls, guess what else we got? Blah blah blah. Did you like the single player Elder Scrolls games, not just Elder Scrolls Online? But yeah, he's supposedly this says that Grubb said the week of the 21st for the Oblivion remake, and said that Xbox could possibly do an event the 23rd. Rumor on that part, but not rumor on the first part. So I don't know. Like maybe if they actually when we have Clair Obscure Expedition 33, we get the Oblivion fucking remake, and then right after that we get Doom the Dark Ages. I mean,
If I don't
crazy.
think the Oblivion remake will come out the same day, I still think it's probably a June release date.
So you think an announcement for the 23rd? People are talking about a possible
I mean-
shadow drop.
I think it would be shadow dropped if they were announcing it in June. But
Right.
it doesn't seem like, I don't know. I just don't see it
June
fitting
kind-
in April right now.
Yeah, because you don't want to, overshadow your, partnered game that's coming to Game Pass at the end of this month. And then, wait, what day is Doom coming out? Is it the 16th of May or
Maybe.
something?
I gotta look at the calendar. Doom, the Dark Ages state. May 15th.
13.
So if you do 2 weeks after that, that would be a good slot for Oblivion. Unless you do it at the showcase and be like, it's playable today. Download now.
Right, like Expedition 33 is the 24th,
Yeah.
and that's another RPG. So a different kind of RPG or whatever, but it's different. It is a RPG. So yeah, that would be a little strange to launch your own RPG like the same day as a big partnership RPG that you've been promoting for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Well, lots of speculation to be had with Xbox this year, and lots more to be had in the future. I can't wait for showcase season until we get and find out what's launches before then, and find out what's all planned out for the second half. I think there's still more games to be revealed at some point, and it's going to be a hell of a year. And then 2026 is even going to be fucking crazier. And I know we keep saying this. 2022 we said 2023 is going to be crazier. 2023 we said 2024 is going to be crazier. 2024 we're like 2025 is going to be fucking crazier. And 2025 we said 2026 is going to be even crazier. But yet, have we been wrong since that 2022 time? No, every year has like escalated with releases and the amount of good games we're getting. So I think that's just a pattern that we're just following now.
I know this doesn't really make any sense, but like I feel like you're so close to the E3 showcase. You're only like a little under 2 months out now. Like, just save the Oblivion announcement for a shadow drop.
Yeah.
So what if they have another shadow drop for the showcase?
2 shadow drops in your showcase? That's bigger news than 1 shadow drop.
Oh, that would be crazy. Somebody shadow drops 2 big games at one showcase. That would be new. Has anybody ever done that before? Like 2 big games?
No.
Maybe at like
No,
2 different showcases the same week, but I don't think at the same showcase.
Yeah. That would be overkill at that point.
And it's different with a shadow drop with Xbox because you don't even have to buy the fucking game. So it's not like, oh shit, I gotta go spend $70 now or $60 or whatever the price is. It's like, oh cool, I already have it. I just gotta go install it. So it hits a little different with shadow drops with Xbox, and it makes it, I think, a little easier for them to experiment with that in a way. Well, everybody, this has been a fun show so far, but we only have one segment left here on FSP. Thank you all for tuning in. And this is where we look ahead at the games coming out for the week, and it is called Yes, this is Tidbits. So let's dive in and see what we got in store for this week. And I'm nervous because I'm about to join this activity, but Fuzzy's face looks frozen.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm curious what happens if I click on this. Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
All right.
Oh no, it wiped the list.
Did it wipe the list?
Everyone
No. Did it though? Because
It looks like it's playing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's playing.
Well received on consoles.
This
And now
game
we're excited
is
to
Prince
bring
of
it to more
Persia,
players.
the Lost Crown, but it's finally coming to Android and
The
iOS.
mobile version
It's
contains
free
all the
to
features
play,
from the
but there
original
will be
release.
in-app
It also
purchases
includes brand new
available.
customization options designed specifically for mobile devices
I
to
hate
make the game comfortable for new players.
when they make a trailers like this and you have the fucking devs talking at an office playing the game. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
This is a really good game if you like Metroidvanias. It didn't end up selling anywhere near as much as I think they thought it was going to, but part of it, I think, was because it was $50 at launch, which was a lot for people to look at this kind of game and be like, $50, you know? Okay. Variable pricing, everybody. Variable pricing.
Take-Two better not pull that. Crap.
I mean, we're already kind of been living in that world, but like I think Nintendo created the name when they talked about it to make an excuse for $80 games.
We just didn't have a name for it.
Yeah, we had $5 games, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 already, you know. Now we have 80, so let's talk about variable price.
Exceptional shield that grants you one hit of invincibility. Another major new feature is the Time Lord, which allows you to change the game speed to your liking.
Yeah, I never get down with touchscreen controls, man. I just can't do it. I see what they're doing. They're like letting you move them around, and so you can experiment with it and stuff. I just
have your own layout.
Some of these kids, though, man, it's like second nature to them.
I don't know. They got like little crackhead hands.
Yeah, they do, man. Like, I remember watching my daughter play Roblox when she was like 4 or 5, you know, and doing the, you know, obstacle courses and just controlling everything with her hands on the screen. How the hell are you doing that? It's crazy.
Claw. All right, this next one is Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. Now it's
I'm on
Take-Two
ads.
is what's releasing.
Yeah, I'm on an ad. So
yeah, I don't know why we weren't getting ads this time. It's all right.
My mom found a package.
You know, you guys seeing ads?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's all right though.
There's something.
I'm seeing. Wait, hold on.
It's gone now. I see it. It going.
Okay. All right, so this is Lost Record, Bloom and Rage. It's Take-Two that's what's being released now. When the game first came out, like I think in February or something like that, it was priced at $39.99, but it had like a 10% sale price. Well, they're reiterating that sale price now, so that way you can get or download Take-Two.
it's like a Life is Strange kind of game or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can make lifelong friends in this one.
I feel like I would like this if it wasn't just an all-female crew.
Yeah, this is like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, the game.
Yeah. Like, because I like the whole 90s vibe, like telling a story during it or whatever, like kind of like how Stranger Things does or whatever. But just like, it's all chicks, so I like, oh, it doesn't really matter.
The second tape being Rage, maybe they fight. I don't know. Maybe
One of them gets a boy, and then they're like, you can't, because
yeah, I see that they're all developing into great friends now. Then there's going to be some big giant like thing that gets between their friendship, and they're going to have all these things, and then the game's going to be about coming together and rediscovering your friendship with each other or something. It's probably, I'm guessing. And it'll be a boy.
You're going down a path I cannot follow.
All right. This next one is Lush Foil Photography Sim. Coming to PS5, Series X and S, and PC this Tuesday for $14.99.
Interesting.
You've heard of a walking sim. This is a photo mode sim.
It's like Google Earth.
So you walk around and take pictures of shit?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, at least the world looks actually really detailed and good. Yeah.
Yeah, this looks actually cool, man. It's Death Stranding. Oh.
They took all the fucking like footage that like Hellblade took and stuff, and like Battlefield's always done over the years. The 5K photogrammetry footage, and I just made it a game.
Mm-hmm. 'Cause, 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 'cause
Hey, it's Assassin's Creed.
Ooh, 10's a mystery. Yeah, Annapurna. That looks pretty cool. That's actually interesting.
All right. This next one is Monument Valley 1 and 2. Now they're going to show 3, but 3 doesn't come until summertime. But,
And that's going to be $150 because it's Nintendo.
well, luckily these first two, Part 1 and Part 2, are $8.99 each until midnight tonight. They're on sale for 10% off. Normal price being $9.99. So you're looking at basically $20 for these two games.
Smarting the enigmatic crow people. A different journey awaits in Monument Valley 2. Guide Ro in her adventure through motherhood as she and her child unlock the secrets of the sacred geometry.
Unlock the
Like
secrets.
Cubert?
All their additional chapters, add-ons, and
Unlock the
DLC.
secrets of motherhood.
The first 2 Monument Valley games launch on Nintendo Switch April 15th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. And
All right.
help Noor on her journey to restore
3
the
is
world's
not
life
available
in
until
Monument
summertime or
Valley
something.
3, setting sail on Nintendo Switch this summer.
I've never played a Monument Valley game. So.
Nope.
This next one is Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy coming to Xbox One this Tuesday for $14.99. Although I'm not 100% sure if you have the original Xbox game from 2003, which they gave away as a Games with Gold, if you get like a free update. And the information on this has been kind of sketchy on
Well, is this
Xbox.
supposed to be like a remaster?
Yeah.
Well, that was assuming you have to pay for it.
Well, it shows on PlayStation that it was released on the 1st. But when you go to Xbox, like right now for me on Xbox, I can't find. Well, they don't list it as remastered. It's just listed as the normal title, but it says I already own it since I got the Games with Gold one. So I guess I'll find out this Tuesday if it's like a free update or not. Because you could play the original Xbox version on the Xbox One. So, all right, this next one is Bionic Bay coming to PS5 and PC this Thursday for $24.99.
No, I'm out. I don't like to be pressured. Time. Put a clock that's ticking down and I have to do something. I'm like, no. I got too much stress in life. I don't need that. Mind-bending mechanics. That's pretty cool.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like, what was that? Not Insomniac. What was that movie?
Doctor Strange?
No.
That's a good one, though, Jasper.
I can't remember
Inception?
right now. Inception, yeah, Inception.
Born.
Right, this next one is Grom 2 coming to PSVR 2 as well as Quest 2 and 3 as well as PC. And it's priced at $19.99. Comes out this Thursday.
This is Gorn, which I think is a play on words between gore and corn.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, these have always been popular on VR headsets and stuff.
Why did you buy a PSVR 2? Well, have you ever heard of Gorn 2?
Ooh, right through the face.
Any Gorn lovers out there?
Leave
So-
it up to Devolve or Digital.
Yeah.
All right, next one is iRobot coming to Xbox One, Series S and X, as well as PS4, Switch, and PC. For currently on sale for $13.49.
I thought this came out on DVD in like 2004.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah,
expecting to see Will
it's-
Smith.
Surprised this isn't like a Atari VCS or something like that kind of game.
Looks interesting.
Trippy.
You get the name iRobot and you make this.
Yeah,
Bosh.
I guess they couldn't do the licensing thing, so
Yeah.
we'll just make some random game.
We bought the name, but we just made our own random shit. It's like make an acid trip thing. Looks like a cross. between
Maybe
Geometry
because they added
Wars.
the little mark in between the eye and the robot, it's different, so they got away with it.
We
Yeah.
couldn't afford Will Smith, so we'll just make
I-
something completely
Robot.
different.
All right, this is probably the biggest one for this week. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle finally comes to PS5
Played it
for
on
$69.99 this
Game
Thursday.
Swing.
Played it on Game Pass.
Parts that look
Played
like-
it on Game
I need to get
Uniform.
back to this.
We have
Yeah.
to find this treasure.
Fantastic game.
Maybe there's some clues
I
in
hope PlayStation audience buys a shit ton of them, man, because like the game deserves a big audience.
This is not the time to let your prying eyes wander.
Legend says that the Great Circle does have some power. Something about its geometry. A deeper force that connects these
I
sites.
think this
is far
seals
beyond
the
your
deal for them to
understanding.
get a Game of the Year nod for at least this year, since it's
don't
coming to
know its
PS5.
power.
Might be the best game to launch on PlayStation this year.
Am the one
Yeah.
unlocking its truth. Indiana Jones. I have missed our conversations.
That makes one of us. Where's my
Yeah,
hat?
but PlayStation's got the Last of Us TV show that just came out for season 2.
Yeah. And a new edition
They're
of The
working.
Last of Us to buy.
Yeah, the complete edition, which I guess guarantees that there won't be a third. Could be false advertising if there's a third one, and you bought the complete edition.
You just have to buy the complete edition.
The extra complete.
Yeah. Only for a
Extra complete, no
$59.99 dollar upgrade.
Oh god.
What are you doing, Joe? Are you breathing?
I wonder
I
we'll
don't
hear
suppose you
anybody
know
complain
how to fly
about
this thing, do you?
motion sickness this week.
No, we got to see the PlayStation 5 Pro runs it better.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know why they make such a big deal about it. It's like actually the PS5 Pro doesn't run it better. PC runs it better.
Mandragora.
Mandragora, yeah, Whispers of the Witch Tree, coming to PS5, Series X and S, and PC this Thursday for $39.99.
Forces of darkness. Its light is replaced by shadows and the terrors that lurk within them.
I think this was like in a future game show, and this was one of the better ones from it or something.
Souls-like action RPG.
With our faith in the Divine One and the power he bestows on me, can we thrive in a corrupt world. Inquisitor, a word in private.
Series X and S.
Mhm.
Looks really good for one of those side-scroller
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
games.
Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Ultimate, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, and PC this Thursday for $24.99.
Here you go, 3-bit. It's up your alley. It's got that Scott Pilgrim versus the World like art style. Yeah. And I know that 3-bit likes to dance by himself to this kind of music in his place.
Side-scroll beat-em-ups have definitely made a comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for the Marvel one that was announced.
Yeah.
Sotness says he played this on Vita. Did you like it? Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Ultimate.
Wow.
Rocket
All right, this next one is Tempopo, coming to Xbox One,
Rusty
Series
Rabbit.
X and S.
Yeah, I see Rusty Rabbit.
Oh wait, oh my bad. Okay, no, Rusty Rabbit, coming to PS5, Switch, and PC this Thursday, $19.99.
That rabbit's so rusty.
Cute little bunny.
Now, it reminds me of another Rabbit game that came to PS5, like at the beginning or at the, I guess, the launch of the PS5. Can't remember what it was called. It was like something Fist or something like that.
Oh, was it Iron?
No,
that's like a Marvel hero.
I actually, I think it was called Fist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually got that game. I like that game. It's pretty cool.
This has like a similar vibe to it, it seems. Although more of the cutesy animals as opposed to like a steampunk version of rabbits, I guess.
They look like calico critters. Any parents out there know what I'm talking about? They were like these toys you would get at Target that had these like playhouses and these little characters of like fuzzy rabbits and shit. They were really popular with kids for a while. My daughter was younger. So yeah, that's what the characters look like. Look like calico critters.
Kind of looks like a Final Fantasy VII world that they're in.
I'll chop that thing up into seafood salad.
Gameplay looks like it could be fun.
Yeah.
Gameplay definitely doesn't look like calico critters.
Please, get out of here.
This Waffle says this game got some good reviews too.
Yeah.
There's a demo. Cool.
Rusty Rabbit.
Smoke that carrot.
All right, now this one is Tempopo, coming to Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, and PC this Thursday for $19.99, or included with your subscription to Game Pass.
I remember this was revealed at like an Xbox like indie
showcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
this
is
is
it?
the Game
Couple of
Pass
these
spot that
music
everyone
ones.
talks about.
It's a rhythm. It's a rhythm platformer.
Yeah.
I hope Xbox didn't pay too much money for it. That's all I'm saying.
You're not into Tempopo, Bo?
No, I'm good. This doesn't need to exist.
You just broke the heart of the small indie team that made this game with their lifelong investment and heart.
Make something better.
Tempopo. I think it looks interesting.
Right, this next one is Lunar Remastered Collection. Coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC this Friday for $49.99.
Pong is getting this.
This isn't just my adventure, Luna.
He's
Like kind of like Earthbound.
He said he was super excited for it.
You have to be reasonable. The Dragon Master causing problems must be an imposter. Mega Magic Flame!
Classic RPG.
Yeah. Is there an anime with this game that you watch, or is it?
It's the way that a lot of the cutscenes used to be in these JRPGs. You would like watch these like anime little show things in between of the actual gameplay. You know? Well, that was it.
And that's it for this week. Yeah.
A lot of games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I highlight probably Indiana Jones for PlayStation, and then you got some cool stuff in there. Lunar was there. You had Tim Popo that just pissed Jasper off for some weird reason. Rusty Rabbit looked pretty interesting.
Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree. That
yeah.
You had iRobot the game, but not the game of iRobot. It's a different iRobot the game. So yeah, pretty interesting week. A lot of different options out there for people to play. But yeah, that was it for Tidbits. Thanks, Fuzzy, for always doing that, man. Let's see. Satana says it was awesome. Though the twin stick shooter. What was that? Oh yeah, the Rumble, the Brawler game. That looked pretty good. That was an old beta game, I guess, and 360 game or something. That is coming back. A lot of that. You know,
Breaker.
The Sphinx thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of that stuff lately. It's there for a reason. People buy it, I guess. Still.
Yeah.
So people that were fans of the original can buy it or whatever if you're looking forward to playing an old school platformer game that looks 20 years old. You got it. Okay. Anyway. All right. Fuzzy Belvedere. Thanks for being here as always, bro. And chat, thank you guys always for being here. Fuzzy, tell everybody where they find you, sir.
As always awesome being on here talking about games with you guys. Just love talking about this hobby we all enjoy. And thanks to everybody in the chat for coming out. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We greatly appreciate it. And if you want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just do a search for Fuzzy Belvedere on everything from YouTube to Instagram, X, or Twitter or whatever, Blue Sky, you'll be able to find me. And then hope to see you guys this Friday, same time, same place. Well, yeah, same time, same place for Xbox Ultimate later this week. See you then.
Right on, man. And so everybody, this is exploding on Twitter, just so you guys know, like Jeff Grubb did say apparently that Oblivion remake is shadow dropping next week. On the week of the 21st. He used the word actual shadow drop, not announcement. So he's putting his reputation on the line with that one a little bit, because that's a strong prediction. We'll see. Jasper, what about you, sir? Where can everybody find you?
Yo, check it out. Lord Jasper Twitter, all that fun stuff. And Monday and Fridays right here on the Fun Speculation Network with FSP and Xbox Ultimate. That's about all I do now is on the social game side of stuff. So,
Cool. Well, we appreciate you for being part of the family, Jasper, as always. I love when you're able to be here, man. And we missed you for all that time you were gone. So it's good when you're able to. It definitely... We just need to get Psycho back. We need to get him to just not work anymore.
Yeah,
I'd be like old Psycho.
I don't understand that bro's schedule. He's like, I work nights and then I work days and then I work nights and I work days. It's like, are you ever off at this point?
Yeah, I worked 8
almost wish you could do like almost wish you could do like a broadcast from the store kind of thing.
Yeah,
I know that would probably totally go against code or whatever for the company, but a gaming podcast.
Well, he would have people. It's Psycho. He would have like 3 people waiting in line to buy a PS5, and he'd be like,
"The joke's
hold
not
on,
us.
guys.
He's just been in prison the whole time."
PlayStation sucks ass. All these fucking ponies are all just talking shit. I don't understand, and I fucked their neighbors, and then it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Would you need to buy that PS5?" He's like, "I don't know anymore." I don't know now.
Well, I don't. Maybe no. I take that back. He's not in prison. He's just in the tour bus with Dave Matthews, so he can't stream anymore. He's just.
He's on a lifelong vacation on the Dave Matthews concert. Yeah, probably so. We miss you, Psycho. Hope you're having a good one. 3-bit. Hope you're having fun with your family if you're out there. Chat, you guys rock. And we'll
He's
be
probably
back.
moving again.
Probably because of his mic ghost that it keeps affecting that shit. We'll be back Thursday for PM in the PM, as long as everything holds up, and then Friday for Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Stay tuned on Twitter, Fun Speculation, for announcements of when those shows go live, and we'll see you all then. Hope you have a good one. Take it easy. Peace out.
Bye.
Later.